A man sold his life story for $1. Not because it was worthless, because he didn't trust Hollywood to get it right. That man was Jaime Escalante. The movie was Stand and Deliver, and the story behind it is almost as brutal as the one on screen. A budget held together with duct tape. A lead actor nobody wanted to cast. A production so broke the star had to bring his own company just to keep the lights on. The finished film grossed $14 million, changed education policy, and quietly destroyed the program it was celebrating. These are 20 weird facts about Stand and Deliver. Number 1. Stand and Deliver didn't start with a script. It started with a newspaper article about kids being called liars. In 1984, Ramon Menendez, a fresh UCLA film school grad with zero connections, read a Los Angeles Times piece about Latino students at Garfield High who passed the AP Calculus exam and were immediately accused of cheating. Menendez showed the article to his writing partner, Tom Muska, and the obsession began. But there was a wall between them and the story. That wall was the man who lived it. Number 2. Jaime Escalante did not want to be a movie. For 6 months, Menendez and Muska chased him. Phone calls, meetings, constant rejection from a man who had already been burned by a system that questioned his students' intelligence. When Escalante finally agreed to sell the rights to his life, he didn't do it for money. He sold them for $1. Not a figure of speech, one actual dollar. On paper, the story meant nothing to the man who owned it, and everything to the filmmakers. Number 3. Hollywood looked at this project and saw a dead end. A movie about Latino teenagers learning calculus in East Los Angeles? Every studio said no. No action, no romance, no stars, no obvious audience. The only money that survived was a $12,000 grant from PBS's American Playhouse series. $12,000. That's not a movie budget. That's a deposit on a used car. The rest trickled in from the National Science Foundation, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and an oil company in LA. Stand and Deliver wasn't greenlit. It was stitched together from scraps that nobody else wanted. Number 4. Edward James Olmos was never the first choice to play Escalante. The role was first offered to Raúl Julia. He read it, passed, and walked away. Then he changed his mind. He came back. By that point, Menendez and Muska had already given the part to Olmos. One man's hesitation became another man's career pivot. Raúl Julia's pause became Edward James Olmos' Oscar-nominated performance. And the strangest part, on paper, Olmos was the last man anybody would pick. He was the sleek, intense lieutenant from Miami Vice. Nobody looked at him and saw a soft-bellied math teacher with a comb-over, which is exactly why what he did next was so unsettling. Number 5. Olmos didn't just act like Escalante. He became him. He gained 40 pounds. His hair was thinned out to match Escalante's receding line, and he spent hours in makeup every day to hide his own full head of hair. Then he went further. He shadowed the Rio Escalante for up to 18 hours a day. He moved into the man's house. He studied his walk, his pauses, the way he shifted between 3 roles: teacher, father-friend, and street gang equal. Olmos called him one of the greatest calculated entertainers he'd ever seen. Number 6. Olmos didn't just perform the script, he helped write it. He sat with Escalante, pulled lines directly from what the real teacher said in class, and fed them back into the dialogue. The famous line, "You burros have math in your blood," came straight from Escalante's mouth. Number 7. The production budget landed somewhere around $800,000. Some sources push it closer to $1.6 million. Either way, it was nothing. Olmos didn't walk onto the set expecting a star paycheck. He brought his own production company into the project just to keep the lights on. Tom Muska knocked on every door in Los Angeles until an oil company finally said yes. The whole film was built like a community fundraiser that accidentally became a masterpiece. Number 8. The film was originally called Walking on Water. That was the working title through most of production. When Warner Bros. Picked it up and told the filmmakers they planned to release it on Easter weekend, the movie became Stand and Deliver. Number 9. Diamond Phillips didn't audition cold. Edward James Olmos personally recommended him for the role of Angel, based on prior work they'd done together. And here's the twist people miss. Stand and Deliver was filmed before La Bamba. When Phillips walked onto the Garfield High set, he wasn't a star. He was unknown. By the time Stand and Deliver hit theaters in March 1988, La Bamba had already exploded. Suddenly, Phillips was a household name. His billing was adjusted after the fact to match his new status. The movie didn't launch his career. His career caught up to the movie. Number 10. Phillips prepared for Angel with a production assistant named Daniel Villarreal. Villarreal coached him on the mannerisms, the body language, the texture of that world. Then something unexpected happened. Villarreal was so convincing that the filmmakers cast him in the movie as Chuco, Angel's friend. The man hired to help build the performance ended up standing inside the frame. Number 11. Edward James Olmos' real son, Bodhi Olmos, plays Escalante's son, Fernando, in the film. A real father pretending to be someone else's father with his actual child pretending to be someone else's son. Bodhi was 10 or 11 at the time. He later became an actor in his own right, appearing in Battlestar Galactica alongside his father. Number 13. They filmed at the real Garfield High School, not a soundstage, not a substitute campus. The actual hallways, the actual classrooms, the actual neighborhood where the story unfolded. The ETS confrontation scene was shot at the Bob Hope Patriotic Hall in downtown Los Angeles. The beach celebration was at Will Rogers State Beach in Pacific Palisades. Number 14. During the final week of shooting, the production needed a location fast. Producer Tom Muska found an impoverished family willing to clear out their apartment for one night in exchange for money to sleep at a motel. The crew moved in and started filming. A few hours later, someone heard noises. Muska opened the closet and found the entire family squeezed inside, shoulder to shoulder. They'd pocketed the motel money and stayed. And instead of kicking them out, Muska and Menendez invited them to watch the shoot and eat with the crew. That choice says everything about the people behind this film. Number 15. The film says Escalante had a heart attack. The real story is more complicated. In 1982, he was hospitalized twice before the AP exam. He suffered a heart attack while teaching night school and separately had his gallbladder removed on a weekend. The movie combined both into one dramatic heart attack. The specific collapse in the hallway? That was based on the gallbladder inflammation, not the cardiac event. After the real heart attack, doctors told him to rest. He ignored them and was back at Garfield the next day. Number 16. The cheating scandal in the film plays like a clear-cut case of institutional racism. The truth is uglier and more complicated. In 1982, the Educational Testing Service questioned the scores and asked 14 students to retake the exam. 12 agreed. All of them passed again. The original scores were reinstated. Years later, author Jay Matthews dug into Jaime Escalante's biography. He found that 9 of them had made identical errors on free response question 6. 2 students confirmed that a piece of paper with a flawed solution was passed around near the end of the exam. Yes, some of those students likely cheated on that one question, but they also knew the material cold and didn't need to. Number 17. Stand and Deliver was built to be a PBS television movie. That was the ceiling. Then it screened at the 1987 Mill Valley Film Festival. The ceiling disappeared. Multiple studios showed interest. Warner Bros. Acquired worldwide distribution rights for between $3.5 and $5 million, more than double the production budget. A film that no one had wanted to fund was suddenly worth more than it cost to make before a single ticket was sold. Number 18. The film opened on March 11, 1988 in Los Angeles on just 30 screens. In its first weekend, it pulled in over $400,000. The per-screen average was staggering for a film that nobody had predicted would connect. A week later, it expanded to New York, then widened to 750 screens nationwide. final domestic gross, just under $14 million. This was a low-budget film about math, starring a cast that most of America didn't know, in a language mix that Hollywood still considered a liability. Olmos organized community screenings, gave interviews, and handed out free tickets himself. The real engine was word of mouth, especially in Latino communities and among educators who recognized the story as their own. Number 19. Edward James Olmos became the first Mexican-American actor ever nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars. That sentence should not have needed to wait until 1989, but it did. Number 20. The film's success created a pressure that cracked the real story wide open. After Stand and Deliver hit, Garfield High reported a noticeable drop in AP Calculus scores. School officials blamed the decline on Escalante being stretched too thin, pulled from teaching by film promotion, media appearances, and high-profile visitors, including then Vice President George H.W. Bush. The movie was supposed to celebrate the program. Instead, it starved it of the one thing it needed: Escalante's undivided attention. Escalante stayed at Garfield until 1991. By then, resentment from colleagues and a new principal had become unbearable. When he left, every enrichment teacher he'd handpicked walked out with him. By 1996, the number of students passing the AP Calculus exam at Garfield had collapsed, from a peak of 85 down to 11. The dynasty didn't fade, it evaporated. And nobody in education seemed to notice, because the movie had already told the version of the story that people wanted to believe. Bonus fact: the cruelest echo of Stand and Deliver didn't happen on screen. It happened decades later to the cast. Vanessa Marquez played Ana Delgado, the quiet, studious girl whose parents wanted her to leave school and work in the family restaurant. In real life, Vanessa battled severe health problems for years: bipolar disorder, seizures, celiac disease, and depression. In 2010, she helped raise money for Jaime Escalante's cancer treatment before his death that same year. Then, on August 30th, 2018, police arrived at her apartment in South Pasadena for a wellness check. 90 minutes later, she was dead. When officers tried to take her for a psychiatric evaluation, she became agitated, appeared at her stairwell holding an armful of stuffed animals and a BB gun that turned out to be plastic, and police opened fire. She was 49 years old. There you have it. Not just a movie about a teacher. A movie about what happens when one person decides that a broken system isn't an excuse. It's a starting line. Escalante didn't ask permission. He didn't wait for funding. He didn't care that nobody believed it would work. He just showed up, picked up the chalk, and refused to leave until something changed. The part that keeps me up is this: he did everything right, and it still wasn't enough. The system let him build it, let him prove it, let Hollywood film it, and then quietly dismantled it while the country was still clapping. If this story stays with you, let me know which fact you're carrying in the comments. Like the video and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.